Hi, everyone. Welcome back. And if you're new to me, I'm Tracy Blehm, and I'm a program building and systems junkie who loves helping holistic therapists and professionals build signature programs so that they can get out of that session room and back into their lives while increasing their income and impact. So today's video, I want to talk about 3 approaches that you can choose from to find the time, create the time to build your signature program without stress and struggle and working crazy hours. So let's dive in. So I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of individual therapists as well as business owners to create their signature programs. And time again, they come out of the gates like a raging bull. And then life happens and life grabs them by the horns and takes them off track. And they then will stall out or start to struggle, and they won't get their program built, or it's taking way too long to build their program. So what I've developed and what I've come up with that I've seen very successful is 3 different ways to approach building your signature program. Now, the key mindset here is to understand that this is a very important project. It's kind of like you have to get your corporate taxes done by a certain time. Samesies. You have to write those exams to get certified as a holistic professional. Samesies, right? It has to be the same. You have to have that mindset so that you can put the boundaries in place for any of these approaches to make it happen. Okay, so that really is number 1. But let's talk about the 3 different approaches. So the first approach is time blocking. Now, you may have heard of it. You may have said, oh, Trace, that doesn't really work for me. But are you doing it correctly? Time blocking is my absolute favorite. So how to really make it work for you is you take an hour in your day, you block it into your calendar, make it the same hour every day, and you turn everything off. No one has access to you. You don't turn on your emails. You aren't playing a Netflix movie in the background or some of your favorite music so that you sing along. But if you want to play music that helps you with focus, like Brain FM, absolutely do that. You set a timer. So this can be a timer on your phone. It can be the Pomodoro timer, which I'm a fan of, for that 1 hour. And all you do is that. Now, the key to getting into it quickly is you set up what you're going to work on the night before, right? Or the day before. So when you finish your hour, you're going to take 5 minutes and set yourself up for the following day. And nothing gets in that time slot. Now, that time slot does not have to be during your workday. If you are an early bird and you find you have your best work in the morning, you can do that hour at home, right? Before you even think about work. If you find that your day, you get up, you slam a coffee and you're off to the races and that's what you like, I'm kind of like that. I like that. Then make it in the evening. So is it after supper? Is it after the kids have gone to bed? Do you have your power hour? That is what I do. I do evening power hours. They work like a hot damn for me. But here's a tip from my own personal experience. Make sure you have that timer set, because sometimes I get so into what I'm creating for people and so excited, and all of a sudden I'll realize, oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. and I have to be up at 5 a.m. We're in trouble here. Nobody wants a cranky mom. Nobody wants a cranky therapist or coach. So really sit down and be honest about what works for you and what will you stick with. Because if you're like, oh, it's early mornings, but you hate getting up in the mornings, don't bother. If you're like, it's from 11 to 12 during my workday, but that is a crazy time for you, don't do it. So it can be during the workday, or it can be early morning or at night. Building your signature program does not have to happen at work. Ideally, if it could, right? I will work, for me, if I know that I'm going to have an evening power hour, I will have a shorter work day because I don't want to take away from my personal time. So that's what works for me. So that's approach number 1, time blocking. So approach number 2 is you have a full program build day per week. Okay, now that might seem like a lot, but if you're struggling to get an hour a day where you are having good boundaries, this may work for you. And I like to use a combination of time blocking and a power work day, depending on what I'm building and what I want to get into. And how that works is you take a 6-hour day, sorry, forgot my extra one, and you go off-site. So you're not working out of your home. You're not working in your clinic or wherever it is that you offer treatments. You are leaving the area and you are turning your phone off. It's on flight mode. You have like nothing. Nobody can get a hold of you. I used to threaten people that I will fire them if they reach out to me. The only reason to reach out to me is if the place burns down. And even that, I've got insurance, right? I tell my family I am unavailable, everybody unavailable. And I go hang out somewhere that floats my boat. So that can be somewhere like, I love public libraries. University libraries, I love those even more because it's a different energy. If I am writing like a meditation series or a journaling series or something like that for my clients, I will actually go down to the river and I will handwrite it. I pack myself a little picnic lunch. I have a few pillows. I actually have a little incense burner. I know that sounds kooky, but to just be out in nature and breathing, I am so flipping creative. If it's something where I'm building workbooks or checklists or videos or what have you, then of course I will book a room at a library or a university library and I will do the work there. So I have internet and my laptop and even my video recording software sometimes. So that's how that works. Now you can even do, when I used to run the clinic, I used to also do quarterly workcations. You may have heard of this before, where I would rent a room or a condo or an Airbnb. I would haul everything with me. I would pre-make all my food so I didn't have to cook anything. I would wear a lot of pajamas and I would just hammer down and create everything for the next 3 months in 2 days. I always like to pick the mountains so I could go out and breathe and go for walks early in the morning or qigong or yoga down by the river. I'm a big river person. And just, it was fun. Didn't feel like work because I was out of my element and I could just sit in my creativity without being disturbed. So that might work for you if you find there's a lot of things tugging on your time. The third approach to getting your program done is getting pieces hired out. Now, if you don't have the money, then the first two approaches are going to be for you, and that's okay. But if you do have some income that you can put towards that, then you can hire out things. So you can hire out your graphics, you can hire out your website, you can hire out your thank you pages, your landing pages, you can hire out your workbooks, your checklists, your video editing. You can hire people to edit videos for you. You can hire people to take a picture, do your hair, do your makeup. There's so much that you can just hand off to give you some breathing space. Now, you have to be able to write your content. You'll still need approach number 1 or 2 to get that content written because nobody can build a workbook if you don't have all your stuff together. Do not piecemeal it. It will cost you a fortune and it will frustrate whoever you've got hired. You also need to be aware of, you need to do your research to hire great people. Even if you do that, sometimes you'll hire someone who doesn't meet your deadlines or produces work that you're unwilling to pay for. It doesn't happen that often if you've done proper research, but it can happen. So you need to be able to build that into your timing to find someone else, right? And always hire the best that you can afford. A lot of times I've seen people who say, you know, my niece is really good on the computer, so she's going to do this, and it comes back crappy. Or, you know, my daughter's fiance watched a few YouTube videos and he thinks he can handle it and he'll do it for free. And then 6 months later, we've got a mess and we have to start over from scratch. In 6 months, you should have that program launched and be making money, not still fighting with video creation. So just a bit of awareness there, not a warning, but awareness of, be aware of what you're handing off, do the research, pay people properly, hire people that actually specialize in that so that it's done quicker. Okay. So again, all 3 of these work, but you must stick your boundaries. You must create deadlines and timing so that you get the work done. If you need someone to be accountable to, then that's where you're going to hire a coach, because a buddy or someone else building a program, they don't have the same accountability and they're not going to call you on it as someone who is going to mentor and coach you in it. So figure out what exactly it is that you need to use one of these 3 approaches effectively and efficiently. And what I found is that once you have these approaches, you will use them for everything when it comes to your business, because you're going to have 1 or 2 like me that you love, and you're like, this is how I make stuff happen, and you're going to go after it. And trust me, once you build this, you will not regret it. It is magic. Now, if you need help building your signature program or having someone that's accountable or showing you the ropes or holding your hand as you go along, I invite you to check out our Signature Program Mastery program, which is a step-by-step program that takes you from idea to ready to launch and everything in between. There is nothing you need. Plus, you have private access to me. And all you have to do is book a free business breakthrough call with me to determine what your vision is. What is it that you want to build? What you think your obstacles and challenges are, and to see if working together is a fit. And like I always say, if it's not, that's okay. We can still be friends. So go ahead and book in there. And I also invite you to next week's video, which is about how pre-selling your program is a motivation killer. You do not want to do this. So I'll see you next week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.